Welcome back to another episode of Around the Big Ten, and as always, I am your favorite host, Lucy Rohden, and today I'll be talking some Wisconsin football with you. The Badgers finished the 2017 regular season at 12-0 with a trip to the playoff on the line until J.T. Barrett and Ohio State had a different plan for Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. Despite that, the Badgers finished the year at 13-1 with a win over Miami in the Orange Bowl, and a big reason for Scotty's historic season this year was their effective vintage Wisconsin grinded-out, run-based style of offense football, which comes down to freshman phenom running back Jonathan Taylor. Taylor finished last year with over 1,900 yards, and against Miami in their bowl game, he broke Adrian Peterson's record for single-season rushing yards by a freshman. Taylor is the best running back in the conference and debatably in the country, and he'll only get better as Wisconsin is returning all their starters from last year's O-line. That offensive line will be blocking for now junior quarterback Alex Hornibrook. Hornibrook showed flashes of being a high-level Big Ten quarterback last season, but inconsistency and turnover issues stopped him from reaching that level. But against Miami, we got a glimpse at what Hornibrook has the potential to do, where he had over 250 yards and 4 touchdowns against that turnover-chain Miami defense. Hornibrook will lose one of his favorite targets in tight end Troy Fumagalli, but will return wide receivers Danny Davis and A.J. Taylor and tight end Kyle Peniston, who should fill the loss of Fumagalli. So Hornibrook will have options in the receiving game this year, which will make that Wisconsin offense even more potent next season. But in 2017, we saw that all too familiar, physical, powerful Wisconsin defense that we're used to seeing. Scotty ranked first nationally in overall defense and second nationally against the run and in scoring defense last season. But the Badgers are losing a lot on that side of the ball next year. Wisconsin will lose 3 seniors on that D-line, but junior Garrett Rand and Isaiah Loudermilk will both have experience and should fill those roles pretty well. And as we've seen in the past, Wisconsin can build those D linemen, so I wouldn't be too worried if I were a Badgers fan. However, the linebacking core will take a major hit next season as well, as they lose Jack Kitchie, Garrett Dooley, and Leon Jacobs. Fortunately for the jump-around faithful, first-team All-Big Ten linebacker T.J. Edwards will be back next season and should serve as the anchor and leader for the Scotty defense. And it's shaping up to be a rebuilding year for the secondary as well. Wisconsin is losing 3 starters, but as always with the Badgers, they have options in their depth chart with players like Natrell James, and I would also expect incoming freshman Dante Burton to see action as well. The Badgers will be returning Dakota Dixon to lead that defense next year. And here's what head coach Paul Chryst had to say on what to expect from the secondary next season.
Well, I think no question we're going to rely on, Dakota, and yet, it's just one piece, and they've, a lot of young guys there, and they've got to step up and grow up, and they're working at it. And I like the way they've been approaching it, and so it's, Dakota's, that's one of his strengths. He is a heck of a leader, and our team's going to rely on him. Not just the secondary.
And even though the Badgers are losing a lot on the defensive side of the ball this year, you really can never count out a Paul Chryst coached defense, so it should be more of the same success in Madison next year. And speaking of next season, Wisconsin will open up their season at home against Western Kentucky and will round out their non-conference schedule against New Mexico and BYU. The Badgers will open up Big Ten play here at Iowa, and their crossover games include a trip to the Big House in Happy Valley, as well as a home game against Rutgers. Wisconsin will also face Purdue on the road and will close out their season in Camp Randall against PJ's Bunch. The issue last season for Wisconsin that kept them out of the playoff was a weak schedule, and that is not the case this year. Trips to Ann Arbor and State College are brutal crossover games, and Wisconsin's toughest games in the West will be on the road at Iowa and Purdue. Wisconsin is set up for another good year with the return of players like Jonathan Taylor, Alex Hornibrook, and T.J. Edwards, but I don't see Wisconsin repeating and going 12-0 again this season. They've got a brutal schedule ahead of them, and I expect them to drop a game at Penn State or Michigan. However, as of now, they're still my pick to win the Big Ten West, but I have them losing in the title game to Michigan State. But I would not be surprised to see Wisconsin fall on the road to Iowa or Purdue this season. But that's all I've got for you on Wisconsin football, but be sure to come back next week so you can listen to me talk about college football for another 5 minutes, which I know is all you've ever wanted. And while I've still got you, tune in to DITV every morning live at 8:30. Thanks again for watching, and once again, I am your favorite host, Lucy Rohden. I'll see you next week. Try not to miss me too much.